2022. I'll start over. Welcome to the Personnel Committee meeting, April 26, 2022. We can get started with roll call. So do we have Alder Bill Galvin? He's present. Alder Brian Johnson is present. Here. Alder Jesse Burnett.
Here.
Then Alder Jim Hutchison.
Present.
All right. Right, the election of the Personnel Committee Chair.
And nominate Alder Galvin, if you're interested.
Had a little audio issue here.
I nominated you, Alder Galvin.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
If you're interested.
Yes, I am.
Do we have any other nominations? Do we need a second?
For nominations.
What was that, Alder Johnson?
Not for nominations.
Okay. And then I guess, do we just want to take a vote on Alder Galvin as the chair?
Aye.
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 Right. I guess those opposed, hearing none. So Alder Bill Galvin is the personnel chair.
D, election of Personnel Committee Vice Chair. Anyone like to make a nomination?
Nominate Hutch. Do you go by Hutch?
You bet. I'm game.
If not, you do now.
Okay. All right. Any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of Alder Hutchinson being the vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. There are no nays. Congratulations. Came back. I'll entertain a motion on the agenda.
Move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from our last meeting on March 8th, 2022.
Second.
I have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye. That passes unanimously. On to regular business. Item 1, consideration with possible action on the request to fill the following replacement positions and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers. We'll take them each one at a time. Item A, records clerk from the police department. Does anyone have any questions for staff on this?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And item A passes unanimously. On to item B, commander for the Green Bay Police Department. Does
Move to
anyone have
approve.
any question? Okay,
Second.
I have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item C, parking building technician from Public Works. Does anyone
Move
have
to
any
approve.
questions?
Second.
I have a second.
I do have a question here, Alder Galvin.
We do have a question.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Operations Director Pierlot, I presume. This position seems to be coming up a lot. Am I mistaken on that? Am I confusing positions, or what can you tell us and how can we help?
Well, the answer is yes and yes. We have two divisions that seem to kind of be revolving doors basically since the pandemic started, it seems. Parking building technician, that's the $10 term for custodian. And then parking maintenance technician, that's those are the people who take care of the equipment, and there's two shifts. There's a daytime people take care of equipment and other types of activity, kind of a step above, more technical than a parking building technician. And then there's a nighttime shift on the parking maintenance technician. That's our nighttime enforcement, technical maintenance of the ramps, power washing, all that stuff when the cars have to be out of the facilities. And it's been, the job market has been all over the place, and I would love to take anyone's offer to get people in these positions and keep them. This person that right now in the PBT that has the vacancy, we have a vacancy for. We thought he was a little bit overqualified, great candidate. We loved him. We loved that he took the position, accepted it, and performance was great. And he, unfortunately, all he told us was he had an offer from a different employer that he couldn't refuse. And I don't blame him for that, but we lost a great employee, so we're trying to refill it.
I mean, when you think about sort of the operation of this position, right, when it turns over, what kind of impact does that have, right? Some positions, more skilled, more qualified, takes time to train, and then all that's gone. Is this a position that requires a lot of training, or what can you tell us?
The parking building technician is a kind of a base level, maybe a slightly above base level position that doesn't take a lot of training, but we like to see people who have experience in facility maintenance, whether it be custodial, hands-on repair, that type of stuff. Someone with a little bit of a manual aptitude, because we have to take care of physical items. But it's relatively easy to fill if we get enough applicants, and it's relatively quick for someone to get up to speed. When we get into park, you get a little more technical because you're getting into electronic pay stations, gate equipment, and cashiering equipment that we got to maintain.
So
But
with
this is
this
just your
particular
basic.
position, I mean, even though it seems to be turning over quite a bit, it doesn't necessarily have a detrimental impact on the city.
No, not really. The only detriment is we might have to do a little bit of overtime from other people just to fill in to make sure we have the coverage until we get the vacancy filled.
Okay, so we don't really need to throw out the red lights on this one yet.
No, they're the lights might be on, but they're on dim right now. So
Okay,
we're doing okay.
okay. And obviously, I mean, if it continues to be a problem, I mean, please tell us what you need.
Absolutely.
All right, we had a motion, a second to approve those. All in favor?
I,
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Item D, Administrative Clerk 2 out of the clerk's office. Does anyone want to make a motion, or do they have any questions for staff?
move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Final one, item E, Carpenter for Park Recreation and Forestry.
move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that passes. On the item 2, request to reclassify one mechanic position to a mechanic 4-person position and approve to fill the position and all subsequent vacancies. Anyone have any question for staff? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll move to approve.
All right. Need a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
That passes unanimously. Item 3, request to reorganize the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Departments and approval to fill the resulting administrative clerk position vacancy. I would like if the director could just explain. I mean, it kind of made sense what I was reading, but if you could explain how this came about and what you're hoping to achieve by it.
Sure, I'd be happy to give a brief explanation and answer any questions that you have. So currently in our administrative staff, which is basically our front counter at City Hall, it consists of one financial supervisor, one executive secretary, one administrative support position, and then 2 administrative clerks. A few months ago, our executive secretary resigned and took a job in the mayor's office. So that position has been vacant for several months now. Since that time, we've used that opportunity to reevaluate where the real needs are for our department as a whole, and whether or not the job duties with the executive secretary position were really the best approach moving forward. So as part of that, what we're proposing to do is eliminate the executive secretary position, and then make several other modifications to not only redistribute the job duties, but also tackle new park initiatives as part of this program. And so there's really 3 positions that are affected by this. And I'll kind of go over those in a little more detail. So the first position is our financial supervisor position. So currently this individual is a division head, and she is the supervisor for the employees that we're discussing today. And many of you know her, it's Nina Robinette. So she is currently in that position. And what we're proposing to do is to increase the pay grade for that position from a step J to a K, and then retitle it to administrative. So in addition to the duties this position currently was responsible for, she'll also now be responsible for the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department seasonal recruitment process. So task was taken on by the executive. This position will now take that over. And just to give you some magnitude of how many positions that entails, the Parks Department hires approximately 900 seasonal employees per year. And although HR does assist with that, we do take the primary roles and responsibilities with the hiring and the background checks, et cetera. And so this position really will be tackling on a big undertaking by taking on those duties. Over the years, that position has also significantly changed from what it used to be when I first started in the department, and the job description didn't change accordingly to it. In the past, it strictly dealt with budget and financial aspects of the department. And really, this position has evolved due to the fact that there's a lot more internal auditing processes and procedures. And in addition, this position has taken on more of a leadership role in providing improved customer service for the department as a whole. And then in addition, this position really has taken on a big initiative with working with other departments to implement various city initiatives, not just park initiatives. So therefore, we worked with the consultant to reevaluate the job description, and that's where the consultant recommended that it be placed. Second position that we'll discuss is the administrative support position. And we are proposing to increase the pay grade for this position from a G to an H and retitle it to an accounting assistant position. The changes to this position, I'll kind of step through a couple of the major changes and why we're proposing this pay grade. So one is this individual who currently is working for the parks will second person in charge of that division in the absence of the administrative manager. So previously that role was done by the executive secretary. It will now fall on this position. The primary reason, though, for reconsidering the pay scale for this position is that a lot has changed throughout the years in regards to technology and the knowledge and skill set required to complete the job duties. So recently, the Parks Department has upgraded a lot of its software and park-specific computer applications. And some of these that include a new pay station at the Metro boat launch. A major one is Recware, which that's the software we use to basically run our entire department. And then we just purchased new software for credit card processing because our credit card use has increased dramatically, and we're now compliant with regulate accounting for that, which is good. But as part of all of that software, this individual for this position really is tackled on taking on the IT duties associated with it. The IT department assists with setting up the system, but when it comes to troubleshooting on a day-to-day basis, it's really this person that knows the ins and outs of all of the software associated with our department and really works with the vendors to troubleshoot any problems that we have. And we do have quite a few problems with that software. And so this person's individual's knowledge has increased dramatically over the years. So that's why this one's being proposed to increase. Again, this position was reviewed with the additional job duties, and the consultant agreed with the recommendation. And then the final position I wanted to talk about is what we'd like to do is promote one of the administrative clerks to a new position called, let's see, hold on a second. To a marketing coordinator position is the new title. And so previously that of clerk duties, as you can imagine. And what we'd like to focus the attention on with this new position is to have it be more marketing, social media, website updates, graphic design. So we do a lot of posters and brochures. We currently do some of that within our department, but really to improve customer service, we really have to take it to the next level and do considerably more. And right now, with how the job descriptions are written for the administrative clerks, that's just a small role in the tasks that they accomplish. So we really don't have a staff person who can take it to the level that we'd like to take it to. So we're proposing to create this new position, which will in essence take the place of the executive secretary position. I think the pay scales even out, so there's no cost difference between the two positions. But then, in the off time when they're not doing all of the social media, graphic design, and marketing duties, they'll do miscellaneous clerk duties, but they'll also assist with the hiring procedures for all of the seasonal positions. So that's something where one person, as we're splitting up these job duties, one person can't tackle it all unless we keep the executive secretary person in place. So in summary, that's what we're proposing to do. And then obviously when we promote or create the new position, the new marketing coordinator position, we'd like to fill a clerk position and hire a new clerk within our department. So we'll still end up with 2 clerks and we'll have 3 other individuals. So now we're not proposing to increase a person. We're just proposing to change job duties and keep the same number of people.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Alder Johnson.
Thank you, Alder Galvin. No questions. And look, at the end of the day, if this is, cost negligible, or in this case, actually a savings, it's really kind of hard to object to it. So, and of course, Dan, you're going to know better than anyone kind of what your needs are in that front office. So, but more than anything, what really kind of struck me, and this is really more of a comment perhaps for Chief Faulds. I've noticed this. I mean, look, we hear the feedback all the time. People talk, right? And just City Hall can be very siloed. And that's not an uncommon thing in large organizations. I get that, but when we're looking at how, in this case, which is just a very transparent example in front of us, and I'm, Director Ditchite, this isn't directed at you. This is probably every department. It strikes me as odd that, every department's got to have a financial supervisor or an accountant. Every department's got to have a communications person. Every department needs their own mechanic or their own engineer, or the fact that Parks Department staff is doing HR work. Now, of course, you can't just wave a magic wand and say, HR department, you're now doing all this work and we're not going to give you any more resources. But it seems to me that you're missing out on the opportunity to break down silos in that cross-departmental collaboration, but also economies of scale and specialization. If you have one communications director, and we've got this coming up here later on with police department as well, you got one communications person in every department that's expected to be an expert at everything. And now you miss the opportunity to get someone who specializes in PR, who specializes in graphic design, who specializes in digital marketing. When you have one marketing and communications department that oversees a holistic strategy for the city as a whole, rather than individual department units. So I think that's got to be a long-term strategic discussion that we start having as an organization. So again, this to me, Director Ditchett, I'm not seeing any reason not to support this. Again, this is, hey, this is what we need right now. It's our most imminent need, but I think long-term, we really need to start having strategic discussions about, how we start making some really dramatic shifts in the way that we do business. And I've thought that for a long time.
Yeah, Alder Johnson, I'll be very short. We're having those conversations and that's a very good idea. And we'll start working towards it.
All right, awesome. And part of that might mean, moving resource, right? A resource reallocation, right? So if we're going to take and say, Director Ditchite no longer has to do all those HR things for 900 employees. Well, we got to give the HR department the support they need. I get that, but that's not going to get solved today.
Alder Burnett?
Yeah, and I agree with everything Alder Johnson just said, and Chief of Operations Faulds. I'm glad that you're, working on that. We ask quite a bit of the Parks Department. They're often the part of our budget that we cut, and we had some rather significant cuts over the years, specifically the playground programs, the parking program. And if Director Ditchite believes that this is the best makeup for his department in order to be as efficient as possible with the resources we provide him, I'm very supportive of that. As we look at like the greater goal of the Parks Department, it is to get people to enjoy the recreational facilities and opportunities within the city of Green Bay. And I think that the plan that he put forward is actually probably developed with quite a bit of thought now that he's been director for at least a few years now, right, Director? Yeah, so it's
Since
good to see.
2018.
Yeah, it's good to see you make those changes to allocate the resources that the city provides you to run your department. So I'm in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ashley. On item number 4, request to reclassify a vacant mechanic position to a new communications coordinator position and approval to fill the new position. Does anyone have any questions for staff?
Well, we already know how I feel. So, but notwithstanding, changes that may come down the pipeline, I would move to approve.
Need a
I'll second that. I second that, but I have a quick question for the chat.
Go ahead.
Is that a Packer shirt you're finally wearing?
It sure is.
Perfect. It's good to see. I have never seen you out, with outside of your uniform. So it's good to see you're a Packer fan.
This is my civilian Green Bay uniform.
Like it.
And actually, Chair, I did have one question. That's right. This was the one that I recall now. The reclassification had an additional cost increase of $11,411 for this fiscal year. Could you just speak, I guess, to your department's ability to absorb that increase? How do you anticipate doing that?
We anticipate easily being able to do that because this mechanic position has been unfilled. For that should already cover the remainder of the year.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
If no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
It's already out there.
Oh, I'm sorry, lost it. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Number 5, consideration with possible action on the Green Bay Police Supervisory Agreement for a 3-year term, January 1 of 2020 through December 31st of 2022. We can go into closed session if you'd like to ask staff any.
Do we need it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would just move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 6, consideration with possible action to amend the Administrative Services Purchasing Office organizational chart to remove 2 part-time buyer positions and create a full-time buyer position.
Move to
Anyone
approve.
have any- Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Under informational, we have a report of routine personal actions for regular employees. And our next meeting date is May 10th, 2022. Any questions on any of that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 That passes unanimously. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on the 22nd, if not sooner.